LA This Week.
Jimi Hendrix played one, so did Kurt Cobain, Stevie Ray Vaughan, and countless others. And now the makers of these world-class guitars has relocated to Hollywood, and it's music to the ears of elected officials. I'm Gil Reyes with a story next.
I'm Rasha Goel. Up next, why a crossing guard is being recognized as a hero at a local elementary school.
I'm Anna Margos. Time for takeoff at the Flightpath Museum at LAX. We'll show you the new gallery that takes us into deep outer space coming up.
Hello and welcome to LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. I'm Yana Kay. Well, Election Day will be here before you know it, and the push is on to get voters to the polls, especially one community which traditionally has had low voter turnout. But city officials are hoping to turn that around by going to where the voters are. Gil Reyes has more from LA City College. Gil.
Yes, Yana, getting down to the wire is right. That's why LA City College and 8 other community colleges within the area have opened up their tables, such as this one, on Voter Registration Day. They're also actively hiring poll workers, and the gig pays pretty well.
I came back for poll work.
Student Matthew Villagracia and his friends took time out between classes to register.
Since I'm a U.S. citizen, I feel like it's my obligation to vote and my opinion matters.
On the heels of the first presidential debate,
would you like to register? It takes 90 seconds.
The LA City Clerk's office was on campus for Voter Registration Day. Around half the students at LA City College are Latino. The goal, to sign up as many of the students as possible.
Time for us to use that voice. I know growing up, my parents wanted to vote, and then finally when they did, they started voting, and they put that out to the rest of the family. So now me and my brother vote every year, every election.
But that's not usually the case among Latino voters. Pew Research studies show Hispanic voter turnout has remained low compared to white and African American voters nationwide. And this apathy comes as more Latinos than ever before are eligible to cast ballots. To teacher Bridget Hanna, that's frustrating.
I don't see why citizens wouldn't want to vote, to be involved in what goes on in their community, number one, and for the entire United States. This is our country. This is our time to say what we think and vote for the people we want in office.
Matthew Villagracia says he's voting for Hillary Clinton and also supports Measure HHH, proposed increases to City of LA property taxes to build housing for the homeless.
That's fine, because if you already own a property, you're making enough money to afford the property.
As incentives to sign up, the city clerk's office is also offering jobs as poll workers. The jobs pay $105 for one day's work, Election Day, and it's coming up fast on Tuesday, November 8th. At LA City College, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Thousands of poll workers are needed to work polling stations, but they have to be trained first. If interested, call the number on your screen, 800-815-2666, then hit option number 7. While you see them almost every day, people living on the streets with no place to go. It's a problem that continues to plague the city, but as elected officials work on solutions, one program has already made strides by giving hope to so many. Rasha Goel has more.
It's a program intended to connect homeless Angelenos with housing and social services and will expand into South Los Angeles next month. The initiative was launched in the San Fernando Valley in May, but is being expanded throughout the city.
We put together the Homeless Outreach Super Team, HOPE teams, Homeless Outreach and Proactive Engagement. HOPE is out there on our streets every single day to do just that, give hope to those Angelenos who are tonight going to be sleeping without a bed.
As an outreach worker, we talk with the homeless, get to know their stories, whatever their needs are. If they need a detox or if they need to get to a shelter, we'll provide the transportation and we'll get them into a shelter.
The program connects LAPD officers with the mayor's office, city sanitation department, the city attorney's office, and Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority to identify homeless encampments and help people get into permanent housing.
This is just another example of us trying to meet some of the demands of some of our residential areas that are quite frankly very frustrated and desperate for solutions to try to help some of our homeless population.
10 police officers and 1 sergeant are assigned full-time to each HOPE team. The officers receive training on mental health and narcotics.
We are looking at our technology so that we can better measure where are the incidences of the encampments, where are the people that need the most services, where are the individuals that we can have the biggest impact with.
Officials say it's the personal touch that is helping to make a difference in connecting the homeless population to the outreach personnel.
You know, as soon as they started to understand and actually know these officers by name and letting them know exactly what they're doing, their mindset changed and they want the help.
Earlier this year, a city ordinance was approved that prohibits tents on city sidewalks from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Personal property left unattended for 24 hours could be confiscated by authorities, though the city will store the items for as long as 90 days. I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
According to the mayor's office, since the spring, the Valley Hope Team has responded to more than 1,300 reports of homeless encampments. It has cleaned up more than 500 tons of trash and 20,000 pounds of hazardous materials. Turning now to battling the recent rash of shootings in Boyle Heights, as the community says enough is enough. LAPD and community members came together to strengthen relations and take a stand against violence. Gil Reyes reports on National Day of Nonviolence and why it holds special significance on the East Side this year.
There needs to be unity and there needs to be dialogue. And I think the events like this is really important to bring the community together.
The annual Nonviolence Day Peace March comes as the city's east side experiences a surge in violent crime. So far this year, more than 65 people have been shot in the LAPD Hollenbeck division. That's more than double than the same period last year.
The community is suffering, and what people tend to forget, it's not just, the actual victim, the violence that suffers, it's the whole family, the mothers, and the community.
It's mostly families marching today in the community of Boyle Heights, but joining them too are LAPD officers.
It's a non-political agenda. It's simply that the neighborhood is tired of the violence and we want to continue to live in peace.
Captain Martin Baeza, commanding officer of Hollenbeck, says gang-related crime is causing much of the uptick, with suspects getting younger. In August, officers fatally shot 14-year-old vandalism suspect Jesse Romero during a foot chase. Officers say the boy shot at them, but one witness says he didn't. Differing opinions has divided the community. In February, police also shot and killed Jose Mendez, an armed car theft suspect. He was just 16 years old. The city's Gang Reduction and Youth Development Program says it will continue to reach out to East Side youth.
We want to do everything we can to make an impact to reduce that violence and increase positive engagement and increase positive connections between the police department and the communities that they serve.
In Boyle Heights, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Despite the increase, Boyle Heights crime numbers are still low compared to 20 years ago. Dallas, Charlotte, and New York also took part in Nonviolence Day this year. Over in Hollywood, the spirit of rock and roll is more vibrant than ever as a top guitar maker puts down roots, bringing jobs and opening the door for more development in the area. Gil Reyes has more.
It's the guitar the late great Jimi Hendrix played and famously set on fire during a show back in 1967. Today, the company that makes the iconic Fender Stratocaster is the one in the spotlight by going Hollywood.
This couldn't be a more ideal place perhaps on the planet in terms of being right in the epicenter of very vibrant music scene in LA.
Fender's main headquarters has moved to where the action is, from its old location in Scottsdale, Arizona, to Hollywood's Columbia Square on North Gower Street. This is where the old CBS studios used to be, and more companies are coming to the area.
Viacom's West Coast operations, MTV, BET, Comedy Central, they're going to move into Columbia Square right here next to Fender. And Netflix is relocating into the city of Los Angeles later next year. And so it's projects like this that allow us to see the face of Hollywood that respects that past, but that also looks to its future.
Mayor Eric Garcetti making a reference to Fender's new offices, where the focus will be on product development, marketing, and a new emphasis on digital media. It's a refurbished building, but maintains a classic, nearly 100-year-old bow truss ceiling, a remnant from Columbia Square's past. Area Councilman Mitch O'Farrell says preservation is key as more of Hollywood develops.
So I'm encouraging, as we grow, to incorporate existing structures with the new development. And I'm really doing that across the district, but it's really especially important in Hollywood with all of the development pressures that we don't lose what's so special as we move into the future.
And the relocation of Fender here to Hollywood has already created 100 new jobs for the city of Los Angeles, with an expected 50 more on the way by the end of this year. In Hollywood, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
It's a Southern California homecoming for Fender. The guitar maker was founded by Leo Fender in Fullerton back in 1946. Well, businesses small and large keep LA's economy going, but building new businesses keeps the economy growing. That's why the mayor is taking steps to make sure small businesses get the support they need. Running a business is always a challenge, but starting a business shouldn't be. As part of an initiative to help and encourage small businesses and startups, Mayor Eric Garcetti teamed up with the U.S. Small Business Administration to host this Startup Business Expo.
How many times is someone going to open a business? Maybe once, right? So it should be easy for them to figure out.
The expo offered one-on-one help from 20 different organizations on topics from predicting your financial future to legal questions and access to capital.
With these resources available, it shows that we are not alone in trying to start up a business, and it gives us faith that we could pursue and be a success.
The first thing I always say to clients is stop doing it alone. They need to start working together and building their team of resources.
And we also are able to connect with local politicians to be able to get support for us as small business owners.
The mayor's initiative doesn't stop here. There's also a new LA business portal that offers a wide range of tools to help entrepreneurs.
The difference between those people who make it and those people who don't is your willingness to stay through the process.
I've had comments of people saying, hey, by coming to this workshop, they learned what it took them on their own 6 months to learn.
So everything, there's always a challenge. If there wasn't, everyone would be doing it, right?
And we'll have more on the launch of the new LA business portal later in the show. At City Hall, Mexico's cry for independence rang loud and clear once again as city leaders helped residents celebrate El Grito. But this year, there was more than one El Grito. Ana Marcos explains.
El Grito begins with a yell and the ringing of the bell. The yearly celebration of Mexico's cry for independence has its own special flavor in LA, with city leaders taking part, and a good mix of what is American, the bombs bursting, and what is Mexican.
The America we believe in is one that builds bridges and not walls, and that's what we're doing here today.
This year's El Grito Festival is a special one. The event celebrates not only Mexican independence, but other September Independence Day celebrations, including those of Chile, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua. LA's #1 immigrant is there to cheer the crowd on.
Yo soy un nieto orgulloso de inmigrantes de México.
Mayor Garcetti says, I am a proud grandson of Mexican immigrants. We are a city of immigrants, a city of Latinos, a city of diversity. The celebration unfolded in the shadow of City Hall, but city leaders hope El Grito's cry spreads much further. Besides the dancing, the music, the food, and the culture, they had voter registration booths on hand to make sure Latinos also make themselves heard in the ballot box come November. I'm Ana Marcos for LA This Week.
Several Grammy-winning artists also provided entertainment. Well, turning now to a story of courage that helped save a young girl's life. Rasha Goel has more on how a regular day at work turned out to be a heroic one.
It's not about being a hero, it's just about doing the right thing.
Adrienne Young, an LA Department of Transportation crossing guard at Alexandria Avenue Elementary School, is humbled by the surprise recognition she is receiving for helping save a young third grader from being abducted.
Because of her diligence, her training, and her awareness, and just because she cares so much about children, she prevented what could have been a kidnapping.
I started struggling with the lady, and she began to try to attack me and try to get the girl from her. And so at that time, I knew something was wrong because of the way little girl was looking at me, and she kept saying, "Please help me, Miss Crossing Guard, please help me."
This corner behind me on Alexandria and Rosewood is where a slight struggle occurred between the crossing guard and the lady who tried to abduct the young girl. Now, when I spoke to the crossing guard, she says she's just thankful that she happened to stay after her work hours.
I'm so grateful that I stayed around to help her daughter, because I would want somebody to do the same for my daughter.
Sharon Arlano, mother of the young girl, says she's grateful that someone was there to help her daughter, but she still has advice for the school. She says as there's an institute for the mentally ill down the street where her daughter's abductor was from, she feels more needs to be done.
Not enough staff to see the kids, while they're waiting for their parents, to see who's around them, and like I said, if that institute's just down the street, we should have more staff.
In addition, the councilman also has advice for Angelenos.
And we have to remain vigilant and not have a false sense of security.
So the next time you feel something's not right, follow Adrienne's lead and do the right thing. In Los Angeles, I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
Now, Young has been working as a crossing guard at Alexandria Avenue Elementary since 2013. If there's one place in LA where people from all parts of the city come together, it's Elysian Park, the home of the LA Dodgers, and in many ways, the heart of our community. The Los Angeles Dodgers recently hosted their annual Law Enforcement Appreciation Night, a tip of the hat, or baseball cap, to the men and women who keep our city safe. For law enforcement, it was a chance to build on the bonds with Angelenos.
This is one step in the right direction and help being able to bridge that gap, to bring kids closer together, to be able to develop a rapport where we can encourage and guide young people into, as the Army would say, I guess, being all they can be.
LAPD Chief Charlie Beck took the opportunity to remind Angelenos about one of the most popular symbols of the LAPD-LA Dodger partnership. Kids can collect these special LAPD trading cards from any officer. There's an LA Dodger one on one side, an officer on the other. It's a tradition that goes back a long way.
A number of years ago, the LAPD had a baseball card program, and the sheriff and I were talking about how much we enjoyed as young police officers handing out those cards, and how much kids loved them, and how they were a way to bridge with the community. And so we decided that in cooperation with the Dodgers, we would create new sets of cards for the new officers so that they could engage with the community in the same kind of way that we did.
The Dodgers also marked the day by awarding their Community Hero Award for 2 members of the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office for their work on human trafficking.
I'm completely honored and humbled by it.
Any life that we can save, any person, whether it be male or female, is worth the effort that we go through every day.
To top off the event, Chief Beck of the LAPD, Sheriff McConnell of the LA County Sheriff's Department, and California Highway Patrol Chief Bill Siegel threw out the first balls together. By the way, the Dodgers won the game that night against the Colorado Rockies 7-4. Well, ready for some deep space exploration? Well, you only have to travel as far as the Flight Path Learning Center and Museum at LAX. Anna Marcos is there as the Space Exploration Gallery opens to visitors. Anna.
Yana, aviation history has been a major focus of the Flight Path Museum for years, but this new gallery takes us in a whole different direction, that of space exploration. From the moment you walk in, the new gallery gives you a window on some of our earliest extraterrestrial discoveries.
The wall behind me describes the foundational work of some of the very early pioneers of space exploration, going back 4,000 years. The earliest Chinese astronomers collected incredibly accurate maps of the stars and planetary motion that are still in use today.
Well, I'm just totally intrigued by space. I think it's amazing. If I were younger, I'd love to be an astronaut.
But even if you're not an astronaut, you can live vicariously through one. The exhibit has a timeline that shows all our earliest space explorations from the 50s to the present day. And apparently, there's a lot of space exploration still left to do.
We currently have unmanned probes and satellites exploring virtually every planet in the solar system. Jupiter, on Mars, in the outer planets, Neptune and Pluto.
All of us, in some way, at some point, are always connected to space and wonder about it and marvel at it.
This flight suit was donated by astronaut General Kevin Chilton, who was commander for the Endeavour and Atlantis space shuttles. But whether it's flight suits, space probes, stars, planets, or just bouncing on the moon, we all sometimes look up at the skies and can't help wonder what's up there. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
The Flight Path Museum also has a research library and several college scholarship programs for students interested in technical education. Some of those students have gone on to become airline pilots. Well, Councilmember Gil Cedillo spends an evening with his constituents, and as you heard earlier, a new online tool helps local entrepreneurs get their businesses off the ground, and Councilmember Curran Price breaks out the barbecue to say thanks. All these stories in Citybeat. On National Voter Registration Day, the Office of the City Clerk was out in full force at various locations throughout LA to register homeless individuals to vote, raise awareness about upcoming elections, and answer questions. Officials at the LA Mission say even if folks are having hardships, they still have a right to vote.
It's a good thing because, the only way your voice is going to be heard is that you speak out.
A lot of people that have come to our table registered to vote for the first time and are excited to take part in the upcoming elections.
Council District 1 Councilmember Gil Cedillo hosted a meeting for the Westlake Pico Union communities recently to give folks an update on what's going on in their districts and the progress being made on community goals. Several city departments were also on hand providing information on the services they offer.
The city does a lot that makes the quality of life really better for many of our residents, but they've got to know that those services are available.
Mayor Eric Garcetti helped launch a new business portal, an online tool that aims to walk small business owners through the startup process step by step and provides free custom-tailored guidance to get their business up and running. The LA Business Portal, available now at business.lacity.org, is designed to help local entrepreneurs across LA open their doors as quickly and efficiently as possible and overcome difficult challenges like finding a location, negotiating a lease, and securing a business loan.
We need entrepreneurs to focus on what they do best, creating jobs in our communities, rather than cutting through the cumbersome red tape that can kill the best idea out there.
Councilmember Curran Price recently served up some good eats during his third annual Staff Appreciation Luncheon at his district office on Central Avenue. Price says the barbecue, serving everyone's favorites, is his way of saying thank you to the city family for all the work they do every day to make a difference by addressing quality of life issues in the CD9 community.
Really nice to have feedback from very pressured jobs, and we appreciate it.
It's important that we celebrate every year with the citizens, with the employees who really do the job, making our community safe, making it clean, and helping services move smoothly.
If you're looking to do something fun with your kids, have you thought about fishing? Well, it's a time-honored, relaxing activity for kids and their parents or grandparents to spend some quality time together. And for a few families, fishing has got them hooked. This fisherman's paradise doesn't require a long drive into the wilderness. In fact, it hardly requires a drive at all. It's right here in the heart of the city, on the LA River.
you do catch fish on the river, and I think it's beautiful.
Off the Hook, organized by the nonprofit Friends of the LA River, is a catch and release fishing derby, offering Angelenos the chance to not only enjoy some fishing, but help restore and protect the river.
Well, the main part of this event, Off of the Hook, is really to bring people down to the river and introduce them to fishing. It's also a great opportunity for us to learn something.
To learn things like what kinds of fish are living in the LA River, how many are there, and where do they live?
And all of this is pretty important because if we're going to try to restore the river, and that restoration includes ecological function, then we need to know what fish we have here now so that we can, and what the water temperature is, what the water quality is, so that we can think about ways we can improve that or make it suitable to reintroduce native species as well.
We're also teaching kids river stewardship and not leaving their fishing line in here. And we want to teach the kids about river safety as well, so we can have recreation and habitat in harmony with one another.
Off the Hook offered trophies for weight and rarest species. It was also a place to learn the basics or to take on a new challenge. Friends of the LA River was founded in 1986 to protect and restore the heritage of the Los Angeles River. While a film festival celebrates the diverse and unique voices of filmmakers in San Pedro, if you have a need for speed, the Red Bull Global Rallycross will have you all fired up and showcasing American Philippine art and culture. All this in this week's Things to Do. The San Pedro International Film Festival was founded to celebrate the diverse culture and community of San Pedro, with a wide spectrum of independent film, documentaries, and shorts. The festival is committed to exhibiting films that embody inspiring entertainment for all, works that express fresh voices and differing global perspectives, with the intent that these films enlighten audiences while providing invaluable exposure for filmmakers, local and international. The festival runs from October 6th through the 16th in San Pedro. For more, visit spiffest.org. For some heart-pumping racing action, head out to the Red Bull Global Rallycross at the Port of LA. Join other racing fans for all-day racing action, exhibitor booths, awesome giveaways, and the stars and cars of Red Bull Global Rallycross. Anything can happen on this doubleheader weekend. The event takes place at Port of Los Angeles, 3011 Minor Street. For details, visit redbullglobalrallycross.com. And the popular Festival of Philippine Arts and Culture comes to Echo Park Lake. The festival, the City of LA's Filipino-American event, is the longest-running Filipino cultural celebration in Southern California. You can expect to enjoy traditional and contemporary Filipino food, music, dance, crafts, and culture. Festival art focuses on the vast contributions of Filipino-American artists to the creative tapestry of the city. It all takes place on Saturday, October 8th at Echo Park Lake. For more, visit philamarts.org. And that's a look at some things to do. Well, that's going to do it for this edition. I'm Yana Kay, and from all of us here at LA This Week, thanks for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org. You can also follow and like us on Facebook. We'll see you back here next week for more of LA This Week.